The power of positivity, the power of positive thinking, right? Whoa, hope that got your attention right there. Let's go. Okay. Where do your thoughts even come from? Where do your feelings even come from, right? For all you who are into positive energy, positive thinking, all that stuff, cool, okay. But this video is gonna be a little bit of a paradigm shift for you, okay? And I'm gonna ask some questions and just bring some prompts to you so you can really start to see, like, is positive thinking really the solution? Or is positive thinking just part of the bigger equation, okay? So let's dive in, because this has been a huge shift for me. Like, when I was still struggling in terms of getting my goals and really sustaining my goals, it was when I was most stuck in positive thinking land, okay? Or I was trying to be in positive thinking land. Actually, I was really negative. It was just a mess, and in general, and that was not what actually got me through, okay? I'll just make it plain right now, and then throughout this video, I'll make it a bit more practical. But imagine you got positive land and negative land, and you wanna ride the best possible middle ground through it, and you wanna be able to hang out in both worlds anytime, at all the time, where you're not confined to just needing to be positive or using the negative to motivate you and shit talk yourself by yelling at yourself in the mirror. Like, don't limit yourself to either camp. Right? There's a time and place to be positive and thinking and looking at the optimistic side of things. There's a time and place to be real with yourself even when it hurts. And all the time, though, you should be looking for the best possible equilibrium between all factors of life beyond just positive and negative. Here's what this looks like, okay? Back in the day, probably 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago, I was really into like Bob Proctor, Kevin Trudeau, studying all that stuff, reading the books. I mean, I would take notes. I should show you my notes sometimes. It's literally like, you ever see a stack of printer paper? Like the full like rectangle thing, right? It was like 2/3 of that, literally full front and back, with me writing with white paper, pen with blue ink, of all the stuff and the beliefs that I wanted to have. I was so trying to be positive. And I got some cool stuff in my life because I was focusing on it. But in terms of really making my bank account be what I wanted it to be, really having my investments, my money, my business, my passive income, the recurring monthly revenue, all of that where I wanted it to be was not there. And then, thankfully, I had some people that initially, first when I met them, I was like, wow, you guys are kind of negative. Like, why are you trying to rain on my parade? And then thankfully, I was teachable enough and I was willing enough to sit with them, and they really helped me to dismantle all of these illusions, these positive illusions I had in my mind. Again, here's the best definition of positivity that I know of. Positivity is adding and being a +1 for life overall. A +1 meaning, like, okay, imagine you have all these different projects you're working on, right? And then you get a new girlfriend or a new boyfriend, okay? And now you do less for the projects, right? You're hitting less goals. You're more isolating. You're just staying in watching Netflix, right? That would be an example of not a +1. But let's say you're working on cool projects that are here to better humanity, better your life, all of that. And then you have a girlfriend or boyfriend come into your life, and now you're doing even more. You're working even more effectively. You're getting even more results. Your money's going up. Your impact is going up. That would be a +1. That's how I look at positivity. True positivity is +1. Are you doing more and more effective things to make the world a better place for everybody? One by one by one by one. That's how we change the world for the better, so that we can actually have a world where everyone does feel positive as a baseline. Pretty cool, right? And negative would be anything that detracts from that, okay? So for you to have real, truly positive thinking, is it enough to just think about the positive and just try and feel happy all day long? No. You gotta actually first start looking at the negative. I mean, don't dwell in the negative, and don't, like, you're gonna be more effective in the world if you can understand both sides. And then choose to have that +1 mentality of, how could I contribute to this other person? How could this other person contribute to me? What if we work together? What if we built this? What if we did that? It's like you have that open mindset. That would be real positive thinking. But the danger, and what I see, and I'm so sick and tired of people, I get so many DMs from people that have the silliest logic ever. And they're like, I'm asking them, how's it going on your goals? Like, if you ever DM with me or talk to me, I'm gonna ask you probably something along the lines of, what are you working on? How's it going? Are you getting closer to your goals? And a lot of people say, oh, yeah, it's going okay. I just need some more time. And I'm like, okay, well, how's it been going? And they're like, well, it's been kind of hard. And I'm like, okay, well, have you changed anything? They're like, well, yeah, I'm trying to be more positive now. And then they think that they just think more positively, and then more time happens and somehow they're going to magically be rich. They're going to magically have all the money that they want. It's like, that's not how business works. That's not how the real world works. Of course, you're going to have to be positive. Like if you show up Monday morning, you have a staff meeting and you're running a team of 5 people and you're negative. Yeah, that ain't going to work either. So you do have to have a vision and be positive and go towards it. But if you're just sitting back and going, oh, how can I feel good and just feel love in my heart and all that stuff? It's like, that's, if you want to do that, sure, but don't delude yourself into thinking that that's the secret to success. It's not. I don't care what Joe Dispenza says on his meditations. I don't care what Bob Proctor said in his audios and stuff. Why is it still the case that most people that listen to that stuff are not really effective business owners who are making millions and millions of dollars, stepping up and actually being a force for good in the world? I know the message sounds good. It sounds good enough that I got you to buy their book, right? But is that actually the answer? Right? And again, there's a time and place for you to feel love and for you to feel good, right? But that feeling of love should come from you actually providing some real value. Like, I'll go out and work and make something happen, and I will make a deal happen or something, and I'll have a bunch of money, and then I can say, hey Jessica, we can buy that thing that you wanted now. She'll go, yay, thanks. She'll give me a hug. She'll kiss me on the cheek, and in that moment I feel pretty good, and it's great. But it's the reason that I closed the deal was not because I meditated and I felt love in my heart and I felt super positive and that made it happen. Yes, there is something to you changing internally. And then from that state and that starting point and that intention, you can affect reality. But it's not from sitting in your home not doing anything. If you want to have positive thinking, use positive thinking to the extent that it motivates you to then go talk to people and use your 2 legs. If you don't have 2 legs, you can still move somehow, right? You go do that, and then you go talk to people and you use your words to then make things happen. And you add value to other people, and you build systems so you can do that on repeat. That's how you make more money, not just being positive, right? So look at that. But then here's one other part, right? Okay. Can you imagine this? Can you picture this image? The image is, you know, an ostrich, those funny looking birds that have long legs and a long neck and stuff. And every once in a while they stick their head in the sand. So imagine that. And now imagine I ask you this. I say, what's your greatest fear? Why do you not believe in yourself 100%? What dangers are facing you today? What could go wrong today? What if you don't keep up your current momentum? What if you lose all your momentum? Right? Now imagine you're the ostrich with your head in the sand. You're like, I don't want to look at that. Aren't you going to be better off actually having a clear answer to each of those things? But see, some would say, that's very negative. I don't want to think on the negative. I'm afraid the negative's going to manifest. Guess what? What you fear will manifest. That's why I'm making this video, so I can help people start to see the common sense of this. What you're fearing will manifest, so you need to stop it. It's not enough to just go, oh, I'm just not going to focus on suppress. Because guess what? If it's suppressed, it's still going to pop out some other way. Right? That would be like you have toxins in your body, and then you're just going to take some prescription drug, hoping that that makes the toxicity stop. But it doesn't actually stop it. It'll manifest in a different way. Right? It might, instead of you having liver cancer, you might get pancreas cancer. It's like, you got to deal with the thing. We got to get the toxins out of your body. In the same way, we have to get those thoughts and those thought patterns that make you so want to focus on the positive and so afraid of the negative. We need to actually confront the negative, transmute it, and there's a very specific set of things you can do for that. So if you want to know how to do that, just DM me the word transmute. Okay, that'll be a fun one, right? I'll remember what video this is about, so I can give you the practical steps by doing this, and you can basically forgive it, and you can give back yourself, your real self, the part of you that you forgot and you've separated yourself from. You can give that back to you, so you actually become bigger and better. And then as you have that, then it becomes easier to focus on the real practical positive stuff, so you can actually create a life that you enjoy, right? And you can have all your basic needs met, and then you can look at helping other people have that. Right? Happiness is having all your basic needs met and then supporting other people to do the same in a systematic way. Happiness, I'll say that again. Happiness is you having your basic needs met, and then you supporting other people to do that in a systematic way. Imagine how good it's gonna feel when we set up a situation on Earth and a reality where the average person is taken care of. Like actually taken care of. So they don't just have to fend for themselves. They have real education, real resources, so they can actually positively, quote unquote, positively think for the first time in their life. Because if you don't have food in your belly, good luck being positive. You can't be. And anyone who says, oh, I saw that video of those kids in Africa and they didn't have any food, but they were smiling because they were playing soccer or something. Like, you know the commercials I'm talking about and that common narrative that people have. Okay, then you go trade places with them. Give up all your possessions and go live in abject poverty and smile. You want to know why they're smiling? It's because if they smile, you're more likely to give them money. Okay, harsh truth. Again, some people might say, that's negative. This isn't positive thinking. I just want to feel positive. If you want your life to get better, let's look at the negative systematically. Don't dwell on the negative, but look at it, confront it, stop it. So those fears stop, so you stop manifesting your fears. And then we can also now create the reality that we intend to create for real this time. And we can keep it that way. So it's one thing to create results. It's another thing to do it systematically, sustainably, year after year after year. So if you like this kind of stuff and you want to stay successful, reach out to me. Let's chat one-on-one. We can connect, subscribe to my YouTube, share this video. More people need to hear this. So many people will resist this. I'll probably get more haters from this. I already have an army of haters and trolls. It's so funny. I talk about creating the world, making it a better place, which is the real message of positivity. And people are like, no, you can't do that. Who do you think you are? It's like so funny. I love it. It's like, who do you think you are? Like, that you're not going to try and make the world a better place? Like, what makes you so special? So, anyway, all right. Be able to go back and forth between positive and negative at will. Design and optimize your environment so that automatically you're dealing with the negative, you're also dealing with the positive, and then you're creating the best through way, right? So you can find the best way to get you where you need to be, so then you can support other people to do the same. All right, see ya.